he's always had these really interesting, very layered female characters. And at some point, like that just stopped. At some point, it became about box office numbers, it became about masala, it became about hero worshipping. Huge Ranbir Kapoor fan. We used to all have a huge crush on him. The moment you said traveling, my face went like, that's how happy it makes me. Work, travel, and no sitting at home.
How do you look at these various film industries that you've been working in? What is different in each one of them, and how do you adapt to various industries?
I think what has helped is having, when you grow up in a city like Bombay, you grow up in a very multicultural environment. Like I've grown up with Maharashtrian, so we surround ourselves with we see so many different cultures when you grow up in a metropolitan city. That I think that has helped me adapt to working with different kinds of people and working in different languages and working with people who come from different cultures. And being a South Indian has definitely helped in adapting to a Tamil industry or Malayalam industry for sure. Even though I've grown up in Bombay, my parents are Malayali, so I'm familiar with the culture. I'm familiar with the way things function there. But I like it, Faridoon. I like working in different industries because working with Majid Majidi on Beyond the Clouds and then jumping to working with Rajnikant sir on a out and out commercial Tamil movie, it's such a different experience. And the whole set culture, the food culture, the language, everything is so different that it's very interesting. You're like always experiencing something new, which is very nice.
How do you look at this entire wave of new female filmmakers and actresses who are trying to break the ground in terms of coming up with subjects that are giving more weightage to women actresses? I believe Kirti Suresh is one of your friends. I think she's doing some really fine work. There is Sai Pallavi in South as well. I think who is doing some really fine work. At the same time, she has a voice as well. In Bollywood, we have people like Tapsi and Deepika. I think who are doing some really fine female-oriented work as well. So, how do you look at this gradual rise of subjects with strong female characters?
I mean, it's high time. I feel like um, way back in the day, like in the 50s and 60s and all, there have been some really strong roles and there have been some really amazing roles for women. Like say, even if you look at like Malayalam cinema, there are like women have been in fact the protagonists. Like the male actors have had lesser screen time. If you look at some films back in the day, even some Hindi films, a lot of Satyajit Ray sir's films, if you look at it, um, um, he's always had these really interesting, very layered female characters. And at some point, like that just stopped. At some point, it became about box office numbers, it became about masala, it became about hero worshipping. Um, I don't know when that change came about, but I'm glad that now, at least now, we've reached a point where I think with the rise of OTT, there is so much, the focus is back again on good content and good characters because there's no pressure of 100 crores, 200 crores. Like that pressure has been taken off. So now it's about keeping somebody glued to, something that they're watching. And that comes down to good filmmaking, good content. And it does on OTT, it doesn't matter if it's a female star like Bulbul had, a female protagonist. And like a lot of people watched it, they liked it. So it doesn't matter whether it's male or female, it comes down to acting, it comes down to performance. And I think that transition is great. So I hope we see a lot more of that when it comes to theatrical releases as well. I hope that seeps into that as well.
Right. And so when you're working with someone like Majid Majidi, for example, you're playing a sister to Ishan Khatter, but you're having a very strong role and a role that gets noticed, that stays with the audience. Would you want to do similar sort of roles that really exemplify the characters behind the performance, and it stays with people for a long period of time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, in fact, so much of actors, like as actors, so much of what we do, we're also choosing from the offers that we are getting, right? So at different points in your career, you're also getting like different kind of offers, and then you're deciding, will this help me? Will this help me in any form? Like a film like Master, more than me being known for my performance, more than it being a very strong character for the female, I'll be honest, it's not the strongest female character you've seen. It's not. But being a part of a film like that puts a lot of spotlight on you and gives you a certain kind of popularity, and that popularity helps you get more scripts, probably the kind like I would love to do, like more performance oriented films, uh, layered characters, work with like filmmakers I like, work with actors I like. So I'm hoping that this gets me more of the kind of work that I want to do, as much as I did enjoy working in Master. Like this was a different kind of experience, but moving forward, I hope I have, like the other kind of experience as well, which is good roles.
So you have a voice as well. You have opinions on various subjects. You like to travel, and that's so fascinating. I believe you went on a tour to Europe and USA, and you just explored the most amazing and unique places, which are not the obvious choices for travelers. So, how important is traveling to you?
The moment you said traveling, my face went like that's how happy it makes me. I look at it like for me, more than tourism, I look at it like constantly, like I love seeing different cultures. One of my most memorable trips was last New Year. I had gone to Africa and I'd gone on a safari. I'd gone on a 7 8 day safari, and I absolutely love wildlife. And I was blown away, Faridoon. It was like a entirely different culture. I saw the Masai Mara tribal people, the terrain, the food, the music, the wildlife, everything. It's like there is so much newness to your day. Every second you're exploring something new. So you're constantly, they're getting stimulated, right? It's so much fun. I mean, otherwise you're just stuck in this monotonous routine, and you're doing the same thing over and over. So traveling is inspiring. You learn so much. And as an actor, I feel it does help because it helps you get a better understanding of people. It helps you empathize people instead of judging people. Because when you're playing a character, like if I'm playing a negative character, I can't be judging the character. I can't be like, इसने जो किया गलत किया. I need to understand that person's train of thought कि इसने क्यों मैं murder किया तो क्यों किया. Only then can I be convincing while playing that part. And I feel like traveling helps you sort of just know people a little better in some form.
Okay, so during the lockdown, did you miss traveling?
I did, which is I was constantly posting so many like throwback pictures on my Instagram. That was the only way to relive and like travel. I missed it so much because I travel so much that every year I try to see at least 7 to 8 new countries that I've never seen. So the year before that, like 2019, I'd been to so many places. I'd gone to San Francisco, I had gone to Vietnam, I'd gone to Sri Lanka, I had gone to Azerbaijan, Baku, uh, so many places that I had like a really nice list for 2020. And the only place I've gone to is like Bandra. It's the furthest I've gone. So
Do you like to travel alone? Do you like to travel with anyone?
I actually
What's
like
it?
to travel alone because I live with
Great.
family. And as much as I love living with family, I love living with my parents, even though we get into fights about permission issues. And, if I don't come home by 12 o'clock, my mom's like, nahi, nahi, wapas aana hai, wapas kyun nahi aayi? And, so we do get into these small fights, but that's like very normal thing to have with your parents. But, overall, I love living with them. Uh, but traveling is something I like to do because think about it. No, as an Indian girl, as a girl who grows up in a typically Indian family, you're always around people. You're either living with your parents, or when you're studying or whatever, you're living with your friends. That is also very rare. You're either with your parents, or once you get married, you're living with your husband, and then we are living with your in-laws. You're living with your family. You're always living with people. Indian women don't really get a chance to explore themselves. They don't get a chance to be alone and just like take care of yourself. Just figure so much. You learn so much about yourself when you spend alone time, and we don't get to do that. And I feel like traveling for me is that time where I'm exploring new things and also exploring like more about myself. So yeah. And sometimes with company, then you go to Goa and all you want to go with friends. Like, what will you go alone and do? Or you go to Vegas, you can't go alone. Like, that's just stupid. So that, like, those kind of trips for sure.
So what is your plan for 2021? Hopefully things should settle down once the vaccine is out.
Yeah,
Do you have
I would
plans
love
for
my
2021?
2021 to be work, travel, work, travel, work, travel, and no sitting at home. That's what I would like it to be. But I have a lot of exciting films lined up for this year. So work-wise, it's going to be a very exciting year. In fact, I'm starting my next film with Dhanush uh, in in a week. So we're diving into that, which again is a really interesting project. He's again an actor. I think he's a fantastic actor. So I'm
Right.
really excited to share the screen with him. So and then I have the Hindi film lined up for like March end. It's starting March end, April. So it's a lot
Mhm.
of back-to-back work, which is great to have after a year of not working.
You've been working on your Tamil as well. How efficient are you now?
I stopped midway. I lost motivation, like being stuck at home and not having anything happening. I stopped learning. But you pick up languages so much faster when you're continuously working, right? Like I know if I do two Tamil films back to back, I interact with so many like local people on a daily basis. I'm learning so many new words, lines that it makes it easier to pick up languages while you're on the go. So I'm hoping in the coming 2-3 months I'll be picking up a lot more of the language.
I believe you admire Ranbir Kapoor very much.
I do. I do. I mean, you want me to elaborate on that? I don't know what more to say except that I really like him. I like heart-eyed smileys.
So
I
you
used to, especially when I was in college and all, we used to all have a huge crush on him. Yeah, huge Ranbir Kapoor fans. But now, like more than anything else, like he's such a fantastic actor that I really want to share the screen with him. In fact, I worked on an ad with him, and I was so excited for it. I was like, "Wow, I'm gonna, act with Ranbir Kapoor," even though it was just for one ad, and even that's gonna come out soon. So I'm excited to see that.
know
Yeah,
he's a very quiet person, but very talented. There's no
and
doubt
such a
about
good
it.
actor. I never thought
Amazing actor.
doing an ad with somebody. But like you don't associate ads with good acting, right? Like it's like just one shot, a line bol. It's very to the point. But I realized ki even when you're doing even like it's a very small cute ad, but the reactions he gives as a performer, it brings out such good reactions in you because he's performing so well that it just like the whole chemistry ends up looking so nice. So that was like a teaser for me of how it would be like to act with him. And I really want to do a film with him.
All right, and congratulations for Master. Big release coming up this Pongal. What are your first thoughts?
We're all waiting and see what's going to happen, right, at the box office, because it's the first big release after the COVID lockdown. And it's the first big release in India, in fact, the whole of India, because I don't think Bollywood has released like announced a release for its big lineups like 1983 or Suryavanshi yet. And Master is, I think, the biggest South Indian film right now that's up for release. So we're excited. We're also a little nervous because of the whole COVID situation. Because otherwise it was just pure excitement. Like before the pandemic, when it was supposed to release, we were all just excited. So now the nervousness is, about the theater situation and all of that. But I think it'll be good.
Recently, we've seen that Wonder Woman has released, and it started off with a bang in terms of proper occupancy and all that. Whatever the permissible requirement is, so it was still to the capacity. Are you looking forward to something of that similar sort for Master as well?
So the Tamil Nadu government just 45 minutes back increased the theater occupancy in the whole of Tamil Nadu from 50% to 100%. So that news has just come out. They made it 100% occupancy so that Master can release everywhere, and people can wear masks. Please wear masks and go watch it.
This is only for Tamil Nadu and not other states.
I think so. I mean, that's what even I was wondering. But for now, I've only heard Tamil Nadu.
But primarily, the audience of Master is Tamil, and that is huge.
Primarily, it's a Tamil film. Yes.
The audio launch happened 9 months back. Obviously, a lot of water has flown under the bridge since then. I spoke to Lokesh a few months back. Now, when you're having a big release coming up and you have to wait for such a long period of time, as an artist, how does it work for you? Because you've been around for some time. You've been there in Malayalam films and you're a known name. I believe you were supposed to announce a big Bollywood film as well on 24th March, so that had been pushed as well. So how do you deal with a big moment in your life and it just gets postponed because of circumstances that you have no control over?
Oh, well, like you said, that's how you cope with it, knowing that you have absolutely no control over it and that every single person in the world is affected by what happened with COVID-19. Um, Also, I believe in better late than never. So I'm very happy that it's releasing now. It's obviously a bummer that it's delayed by like 8 months, 9 months, whatever. लेकिन हमारे हाथ में था ही नहीं, like क्या कर सकते हैं हम, right? So you might as well look at it through an optimistic eye and just enjoy the journey now. Now the next week that unfolds, promotions, release, first day, first show, all the madness that comes with that. So now I'm just looking forward to just dive into that and enjoy it.
Okay. Now, as an actress, what is it that you have in store for yourself and people who follow your work? Because from the trailer we gather it's a Vijay versus Vijay show all the way, and it's going to be a big bonanza for the fans as far as they're concerned. So, what is it that your fans can possibly look forward to as far as you are concerned?
So this is my second film in the Tamil film industry. My first film was with Rajnikant sir called Peta. And this is my first film as a female lead actor. In Peta, I had a smaller role, but I really wanted to work with Rajni sir. It's on every actor's bucket list working with Rajnikant. So I did the film for that. It wasn't the main lead, it wasn't the primary role. But in this, it is quote unquote, whatever you term it. It's a more important role. And I wish I could tell you more about the role, but more than a background to the character is more of like what she's adding to the plot line, what she's adding to the storyline. So I can't say a lot, but she's a young professor, and then like she's responsible for things that are happening to Vijay sir's character. She's responsible for where the story goes. So it's a character with a nice graph, something that I really enjoyed playing. I also have a really nice song with Vijay sir, which we had such a nice time shooting for that. It's a lovely tune. It's called Anda Kannu Pataga. And Anirudh, he's one of the best music composers in India right now, and all of his tunes are so groovy and so nice. So he's come up with a lovely love track. So there are a lot of these nice, cute elements. There are a couple of really intense performance-oriented scenes that I have. So it's a lot of little things, but it's a nice role, and I'm excited to see how it'll be received. I'm excited to see it on the screen myself. So waiting for Jan 13th.
Can we expect a bonanza because now it's going to be 100% release? People are desperately waiting for this film. There has been such a major campaign that this film should not release on OTT and it should release in theaters. All the patience that the fans must have kept, do you think that they'll be rewarded?
Yeah. Yes. This is the most confident yes I've said in my life. Usually I'm like, I don't know, we'll see, how do we know how a film's gonna do? But I do feel yes, because of all the factors involved in this film, from the actors involved to the filmmaker. I think Lokesh is an amazing filmmaker, and he's redefined what a quintessential commercial Tamil cinema is. You know, he's changed the direction. He's changed the way in which people view a commercial film. And that's like a really big thing to do. And he's so young. He's like 31, 32. And uh, so he's the captain of the ship. And then there's an amazing team, Anirudh, obviously apart from Vijay sir, Vijay Sethupathi sir. It's such a fantastic team. It's a great story. It's got these masala moments. It's got these things that you go to a theater for. It's got these scenes where you want to shout, you want to go with a group of your friends, you want to celebrate, you want to enjoy. It's got that, but it's also got a strong story that is there start to end. So I don't see why not. There's something in it for everyone.
What do you consider the biggest achievement of yours as an actor so far?
Bagging the Majid Majidi film Beyond the Clouds,
Why do you think Bollywood audiences will love Master?
because it's a very universal story, and there is something in it for everyone. Love, action, romance, drama, a lot of fast cars for the boys, lot of cute scenes for the girls. It's got the cliches, and it's got all the it's got a very interesting take on the typical. So it's different, but at the same time, um, uh, very universal.
What is something Talapati Vijay has you wish Vijay Sethupathi had?
Actually, I haven't shared any screen space with Vijay Sethupathi so far. So I don't, like I don't know much about him. I've never shared screen space with him.
Hey, what do you think most of the South actors admire about Bollywood?
I guess the kind of global popularity Bollywood has. Like you go to even Morocco and there'll be Bollywood fans.
If Master were to get its Hindi remake, who would star in it as a lead?
I would say Talapati Vijay itself, but I don't think he wants to. I don't know if he wants to act in Hindi. So if I had to pick a Hindi star, I would probably say Shah Rukh Khan, because I'm a huge Shah Rukh Khan fan too. So
Okay, if you were a journalist, what question would you ask to following people? Vijay Sethupathi.
I really want to know about his process. I want to know if there's any method acting that he follows, because his like all the roles he's done, like especially roles like Super Deluxe and all, has been so diverse. He's done such crazy characters. I want to know his method.
Talapati Vijay.
How does he remain so positive all the time? He's always positive. You'll never hear one negative thing coming out of his mouth. Even if it's a horrible situation, he'll be like, "It'll be okay, ma. It'll all be good. Chill."
Allu Arjun.
Where did he learn his dance moves from?
Prabhas.
Yeah, like I would probably ask him that, did he know that, was he aware that investing 4 years of his life in one film, which was Bahubali, like that was a big gamble as an actor. It's such a big gamble. You're giving 4 5 years of your life away. Like, did you, like, what was his thought about that? Like, was he ever scared to invest that much?
Okay, complete the following sentences, please. Master will definitely bring back audiences to the cinema halls because it has.
It's as massy as it gets, and it's not something you'll enjoy watching at home on your small screen. So it's a theater mass.
When I heard the script of Master, my first reaction was,
How soon can I sign it?
what I love the most about Talapati Vijay is,
He's a man of his words. And he's a man of his words. Like, even if he tells you that tomorrow, I'll text you around 3 o'clock tomorrow. Even if he says something as small as that, no, which people forget, right? Like, you're busy all the time, you're working. He will text at 3 a.m. Like, he's a man of his words, even if he says like the smallest of things. And I think that's such an incredible quality to have.
so I was watching one of your interviews and you were asked that what is it that you really like in a man, and you said that his ability to converse properly, because the entire charm and the romance, the initial one, will just wear off after a point of time, but it's a conversation that will really be lasting.
Absolutely. I mean, it'll get boring, if you can't talk to somebody. Like, initially you have attraction, maybe a physical attraction, butterflies in the stomach. You have all of that, but once you're with somebody for, like, say, 8 months, 1 year, or 2 years, or whatever, however long it lasts. What do you do after that? Like, you need to be able to be on the same wavelength. You need to, like, talk about things. Um you need to be able to spend time. Like, your partner becomes your best friend, and yeah. So it's important.
Okay,
It's like Karan Johar said, "Pyar dosti hai." He was right.
true or false? I was offered some Bollywood films, but I rejected them because I didn't like the script.
True, absolutely. I've taken my own. So I've rejected some huge films just because I felt like I don't want to do a character like that, or I don't want to be a part of that particular project, and I want to wait for the right one, and which I did sign, which was supposed to be announced on 24th March, like you said.
South industry makes better masala entertainers than Bollywood.
I think it's been different at different points, but right now, at this point in time, I think yes.